This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. We are live at Output 1758 West Grand, and I got some backup this week. Lots of backup. He's got my blind side. I got Steve Edwards in here along with Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. Thank you, fellas, for joining us. And this is the pregame show for the Bears versus the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for this. Viva Las Vegas. Let's kick some ass.
Yeah, man, I'm excited as well. Too bad we're not there, but you know,
next time.
You know, Ivan said we already said it on Bear Down Big Steve. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but we're gonna be there. Hey, let's bring the whole pregame show there.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, we mobile.
Oh,
yes. Don't tempt me with a good time.
And we were talking a little bit off air, but let's look at what the injury report is going to be for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, so right now they're going to be without Grady Jarrett. They're going to be without TJ Edwards, and they will be without. Oh, I just had it up. Hold on 1 second.
You did.
And they'll be without Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright will be out.
Ooh.
Also, they have questionable is DeAndre Swift. Colson Loveland will be out, as well as Kyler Gordon.
Oh, no Gordon. Wow. That's going to be huge. I mean, a lot of injuries going against an expert coach, in my opinion, you know, with the Raiders. And then, you know, they have a pretty veteran quarterback who can understand where to throw the ball when guys are missing. So I think it's going to be a very close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think that the Bears should come out running the ball and stopping the run, like you said last week, Ivan. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be one of the major issues for the Raiders. If they can stop our run, that's going to be, you know, havoc for us.
Well, Steve, you know, we talked about they have to find a run, right? They got to find a run first for them to stop it. But no, that's kind of where I'm at. It sounds simple, but it's simple enough. Stop their running game. Don't allow them to get going in the play action, and that will alleviate the injuries in that secondary. You know, where our secondary is a little bit beat up, where our pass rush is struggling. So if we're able to shut down one facet of their game, I think it'll benefit us greatly in the long run. Also, it's, you know, again, on our side, we have to find a way to run the ball, Steve.
Yeah, last year, I mean, not last year, but last game, we pretty much forced the run. You know, even though it wasn't like it was very successful, we just stayed consistent and kept running, and just kept pounding the ball to set up other things. And that commitment to that run did help, you know, control the ball game and control the flow. And obviously we don't have the personnel like we would want. We beat that into the ground on the Bear Down we don't have the personnel, you know, outside of Swift, that in between the tackle runner. But I think we just got to keep pounding it, keep figuring out who's our seventh round. You know, obviously, you know, I'm not good with the Mana guy. We got to get him involved. He saw a little bit of him last week, and now Swift has a little questionable injury. So how well is he going to hold up? But at the end of the day, we have to be consistent. We have to be committed to it, and it helps set up everything. Regardless if you haven't had much success, you still can play action off of the run if you're staying committed to it, and gives you some, because they have to respect it.
Right.
And you hit the head on the head, right? Whatever that is.
That's it.
We started a little early. Obviously, Ben Johnson's offense is predicated on play action, which means you have to run the ball to draw in the defense. So that way you can go over the linebackers or over the DBs, right? You know what name is not on the inactives?
Who's that?
Mr. Concussion. Mr. Roshan Johnson is not on the injury report. So can we see a sighting this week?
I hope he does something well, right? I hope he does well. I'm not
just on special teams.
Excited for it. Right. Not necessarily tackle on special teams.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get overly excited for it. Show me at this point. Like you have a lot to prove, Roshan Johnson, the franchise pillar. Roshan Johnson, a lot to prove.
I seen a picture of him last week. It was like, I don't know if y'all saw that. I meant to grab it and save it for our show. But he had that, obviously everybody knows he has that guardian cap
Yep.
on. And then he has that, I don't know, I still don't know what that thing guys put around their neck. It's like a
It's
horseshoe almost,
yeah.
like I don't know, some kind of neck protection. I meant to look that up and see, because I see people wearing that all over. But he had that, he had the guardian hat, and then his eyes are just like all twisted. I'm just like, this dude looks broken apart. Like here we are. Hey, get the ball to Roschon. Let's see him. He doesn't need to pound nothing right now. This dude gonna pound himself right back in concussion protocol or some other injury. But I understand we do need to try to get him involved to see, why is he on the roster?
Right.
Why is he on the roster if you're not using him? What's the good for if he's not functional in the run game and helping you in the run game? Why is he on this roster? You shouldn't just be a special
Because
teams guy.
Poles is just
He has these
hard-headed.
affinity.
Yes.
Valence Jones. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, right. He has this deep connection to some of his players, and quite honestly, it can be a positive, but in so a lot of cases with Ryan Poles, it's a negative.
Yes.
It's a negative, crying over a journeyman safety. Remember that? And come on now, like, you have to be able to go ahead and make the hard decisions without having tears running down your eyes. Like, come on, man. Like,
but how can you trust a guy making big time decisions, which he's been lacking of, and then he has these emotional connections? And like, okay, is this the guy I need to be like, hey, I'm gonna take this guy with a little checker pass? And I'm not gonna get into the draft, but what did he say about Roschon when he got him? He's a pillar or something.
Franchise pillar.
That's big words for a 4th round draft pick. And now you have to sit there and eat it. And he's keeping him around. And I just think you have to, get something out of him or move on. And where's Travis Homer? Isn't he close to coming off of the short-term IR at some point?
I think it's 5 games, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 5 games.
And then at that point, will it be some kind of decision between the two? Because they both serve the same purpose.
Right.
It's just a running back who doesn't really help us in the backfield, but does play special teams where I think there's guys out there on the streets, on our practice squad that can help us in the run game.
I think you need to make a move, Steve. I think whether it be a trade or something. I know there's somebody out there that has, one running back too many that you can utilize. Where's Britton Brown? We talked about that. Where's guys that you brought in to help you out? They're not showing out. It's been DeAndre Swift and a little bit of Mana guys sprinkled in. That's not enough.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough, and it's showing that the durability that you're asking Swift to do, take these carries and go in between the tackles, which he's been trying to do, and that's not working.
Game. That's not his game.
And here he is coming up on the injury report. You're asking a lot out of him when you have somebody that you can hand the ball off in between the tackles, alleviate some of those carries off of him, and get him to do what he does best, is screen game, getting him out on the perimeter. Because when Swift gets out there, he's that guy who's so explosive, can make people miss, and you get pretty excited when he's out in space. But we're asking him to do something that he's not his forte. We need him to do that every once in a while. You got to go in between the tackles, but we can't sit here and say, Swift, we need to give you the ball 25 times a game. That's not going to be the answer, to us any kind of success. And knowing we have to run the ball for Ben Johnson's offense to be successful. And
I don't mind, like, if we go to a more of a meat and potatoes type of running style, if you have to involve Monin guy, even if you force him Monin guy, I don't mind that. Just for the simple fact is DeAndre Swift, he doesn't have that body to keep up and be hammered. You see Monin guy, he could take blows, he could break tackles. He's still young. I'm sure he's still learning this, how to play running back in the league. But you need somebody to step up. And if it's not going to be him, who is it?
I hope it's not DJ Moore. Well, I do not want him in the backfield.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be, if that experiment is working so well.
Well, that lets you know how poor the run game is when you're taking DJ Moore. He's not a Debo Samuel. He's not Cordell Patterson. Remember Cordell Patterson? But that actually worked a little bit, especially when he left the Bears. It seemed to work when he left us and
went to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, when it became a little more successful. But like when you throw DJ back there, I understand he can run after the catch, but that's not his forte. That means we're trying to, create something out of a lack of depth, a lack of talent, in that backfield. And, moving forward, we'll see how everything pans out today. Obviously, we got to get the run game going to support the play action, help Caleb. But moving forward, it has to be something they have to do to address this. It's a long season. We just getting started. So it's a concern.
How big of a concern are we with Darnell Wright not playing today? And who's going to take his spot? Is it Benedict?
Yeah, Benedict.
Yeah.
The American Eagle?
Yeah.
The Canadian Eagle.
Yeah, I did like what I saw from him when he did step in for a little bit for Darnell Wright. Obviously, I've been harsh on Darnell and his pre-snap penalties.
Yeah,
he did okay. I'm just really because I don't think he's lived up to his expectation of his draft pick. But he is still a really good offensive lineman, young offensive lineman that did not play as bad as expected last week. But I think we'll be in a good spot. I think we'll be okay. And then I'm obviously guessing Trapillo is going to be active for the first.
I would
assume
assume
the first
so.
time
Right?
he's
Yeah.
active for the season, which is crazy for your second round pick. That he's finally in like that. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. But wasting picks and drafting, and but it'll be good to see. I think we're good. I think we got some good solid depth there. Guys got to step up this game. We got numerous injuries, so that means this is a game we need to win. We have to have it. As far as as we go into this season, going into the bye week, it can set up really nice if we able to go out here with the numerous injuries that we have, go out here and get a victory in Vegas, and then come into the bye week where we possibly could be get a numerous of people back moving forward into the Washington game, which kind of sets up like last year. If you think about it, we play Washington after the bye,
right?
And could be something to give a lot of people to talk about. But got to handle business first. But that's the name of the game. People have to step up today and get the job done.
Yeah, and I think Benedict is a perfect guy, I would say, to have an opportunity like this.
Yeah,
because he's been showing not only in practice, not only in training camp, when he got the opportunity in the game. So this is an opportunity, and Steve said it right. Step up time. Who's going to answer the call? Is it going to be Theo Benedict? Would it, if it's not him, will the next guy be? Will it be Trapillo?
Yeah.
I don't care. Just somebody answer the call. You need to see people stepping up when things go wrong, because it's not always going to be a perfect situation. You know what I'm saying? So to see a guy like this, and hopefully he has a hell of a game. It'll give me hope in the depth. And some of the depth that we have on this team.
And what we don't want to see is that offensive line carousel that we've seen so many times with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And then that ends up hurting our quarterback play and ends up losing games for us. So that's what we don't want the next guy to step up and actually take that mantle and run with it. Another issue I would say is Colston Loveland has started getting involved with the offense. Now he's out. And how big is that going to affect us now that you have Cole Kmet not going to be? Is he just going to be blocking, or are we going to use the?
No, they got Dylan Smythe as well. Smythe.
Yes,
right?
Smythe.
So I mean, they're still going to use. They're still going to pass. They're still going to go to their tight ends. But to be honest with you, I don't see it being a huge negative, because we didn't see him really making an impact for the past 3-4 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what negative is it? It sucks that he's young and he's not out there, because we need to see what he can do. But as far as a negative to the game or the game plan, I don't see it as a negative. You weren't even utilizing him in the first place.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I was going to, before Ivan grabbed it was right on the head. He hasn't really had an impact. I think the biggest thing is we're waiting to see him have an impact. And here's another opportunity down where here's your top, your 10th pick. Hurt came in, drafted hurt, and it's continuously to be hurt. That's a concern. You know what I mean? We talk about when I'm going to dab in on polls a little bit every time we talk, because you can't help but to talk about polls, because these situations are just in our face where you continuously draft guys or sign guys who have injury history, and then they show up and that injury bites us in the and here we are. And I'm hoping you got to be hopeful, because this is that he gets through these injuries, but it's disappointing that he's not going to be in there. But I think we're prepared because he hasn't even been there really for us. Right. And Cole has been the number one tight end so far in this offense. So obviously you would love to have him on the field because he brings some element. But I think we just move forward, and when we get him back, hopefully that he's ready to go, and he starts providing some production that you want out of your number 10 pick overall.
I'm looking at the inactives for the Raiders, and they've got a couple of injuries. A couple of players not playing. Zamir White, running back. The Cameron Richardson, cornerback. Charles Grant, tackle. Caleb Rogers, guard. Michael Mayer, tight end. Leaky, Foltu. Hopefully I said that right. Defensive lineman, and the I in there. Tonka Hemingway, defensive tackle. So they got some injuries as well. None of those names pop out.
Well, I mean, it's still like, let me say, because
are y'all sure Brock Bowers is not on there, man?
I wish.
Please, God dang, man. I thought he was on the injury list. I'm like, please. Please, no Bowers.
Are you going to get that Nancy Kerrigan treatment?
Yeah. Michael Mayer. So they also have a tight end out in Michael Mayer. So, but even with that, they do have that weapon in Brock Bowers.
Right.
And if I were a betting man, I would say Brock Bowers would probably be keyed in on on our defense. Like he should be a guy that's highlighted. But again, you had one of their wide receivers put up like 40 points last week. So it's like it's kind of at this point to me, it's pick your poison. Obviously, Bowers is the key, but anybody could go off. It's not like they have superstars everywhere. You just kind of have to key in and then make your adjustments, to be honest.
You got some better.
Yeah, so I mean, we obviously, Ashton Jeanty is in there as well. He hasn't really done much. My big thing, you obviously got Brock Bowers, and you have Geno Smith. Yep. And I mean, a veteran guy, like you said, that could, take advantage of some situations of lack of corner, our hurt secondary. It's a guy who could capitalize on that. And then Ashton Jeanty, he's not got off yet. I don't want this to be the game that he has his breakout game. That's one of the biggest concerns. Let's keep this guy out of the game. But this is a game that you kind of fear that this guy could turn it on against us. And those are the key players. Ashton Jeanty, even though he hasn't got off, we have to keep him under control. Keep our eyes on Brock Bowers. And, the number one thing, obviously, our pressure. You saw that get keyed up a little bit last week. Nothing too sexy when it comes to them. They right down the middle, bull rush guys. But hey, if that's y'all game, is the bull rush and collapse the pocket, and that's how we got to get pressure, then let's do it. Let's continue to do it. But it's those are gonna be the major guys, and those are we know what Ashton Jeanty, he hasn't shown in the NFL, but if you saw him last year in Boise, this is the guy. If he could get him going, it could be a problem for us.
Yeah, if he sees grass, he's going to be gone.
Yeah, definitely. How do we expect Geno to? I mean, you kind of started with it with Geno being a veteran quarterback. How do you think he's going to fare against our defense? We got some missing pieces, but can that defense get to him? Can our defensive line get to Geno Smith and put that pressure? That's going to be the question, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, this is an offensive line that's not very, good, and that's the beauty about it going into this game. Oakland,
Vegas. When you played, there was Oakland. Yes,
I did. Jerry Rice. That's how old I was. Jerry Rice was playing for him. And Tim Brown too. No, they're not a very good offensive line. They're, so that's the thing. If there's a point of us taking advantage of something, is that offensive line of the Vegas Raiders, and being able to get Geno off his spot and like anything, pressure, bust pipes, and you even against the greatest, you get pressure on them. You can make it hard. So Geno, we want him to have a clean pocket, collapse that pocket, because our secondary is beat up, as we know. So that's going to be a key component, is getting after him, collapsing that pocket, getting him off his space, and he's mobile. He's low key mobile, so people kind of think he's just a pocket quarterback. He's a guy who can get out, and that could be a low key prop bet. Even though the Bears got that pass rush that he wanted to jump on, like a 20+ for Geno could be a good one today. Because he can get up out of there. So we got to make sure we on top of that. But it's really going to come down. I think our linebackers are going to be a key component to this too. We obviously said the D-line, but our linebacker play can, Tremaine Edmonds continue what he did. Can he build on that performance?
Yep.
Sewell, who's getting a lot of praise, can he continue to fly around and do what he does? So that's been a big part of this defense is those linebackers when we've had success. So they're going to be keyed in on the run game, on Brock Bowers, and, making sure Geno's not getting outside the pocket. So that's going to be just pressure, collapsing the pocket. Who on that D-line is Sweat going to continue to – he seemed like he's got his motor going.
I think today, if we're going to pick a D lineman, like if we're going to highlight to say, hey, you need to have a day, it's got to be Dexter.
Yeah.
Grady Jarrett, you're out. You got a veteran down and one of your leaders, a captain. Somebody's got to step. We talked about stepping up, right?
Yep.
We just talked about it. It's your time. Step up. You've gotten every possible opportunity here to go ahead and take that 3-tech spot and be the guy. Take the spot. Go do that. Show us something today. Step up.
Yeah, when we talk about, we even talk about Caleb and people wanting to see certain things out of him. Even in, for anybody, you want them to see them pop in year 3. Mm-hmm. So, as we talk about Caleb, pressures on the quarterback always to perform and see it earlier. But any rookie, you want to see them start popping. And we talking about Javon Dexter. This is year 3 for you. We need to start seeing it. We need to start seeing you get off blocks. Like he was brought in to be this 3-technique guy in Eberflus system. And, he wasn't necessarily that type of player. They thought they could create him into this 3-technique. They had the physical tools, but he's in a different system. But no matter what the system is, he needs to start performing. And this is a game without Grady Jarrett. You need to start, making a name for yourself and popping. And you hit it right in the head. That's the guy who's going to be, I think you definitely got to keep an eye on and see what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the Bears offensive side, looking at obviously Caleb has shown progression week by week in Ben Johnson's offense. We're starting to see him have a little more confidence, stepping up, moving around in the pocket, not just bailing as soon as he feels pressure. What do we expect to see this week against the Raiders with Caleb and the offense?
I think you want to see some of the same. You just want to see them continue to execute but better. Obviously we talked about the run game needs to help support all this. The run game supports the O-line too. It helps the O-line get into a good flow and get comfortable, especially on the road. Obviously the Bears fans are going to be out in force. Supposed to be a 50-50 split in that stadium. So that would help, but you're still on the road. And you're in unfamiliar territory. So that run game is what you want to lean on to help Caleb, to help that offensive line. So that's first. But you want to get some of the same thing, keep that pocket clean. That's on the O-line. And you should do it against a defensive line. Well, there's one X factor on there, and we'll talk about that guy, but which is Crosby. And that is, let's just talk about it. We did well last week. I think we've had some moments with this O-line where you saw the improvements, and last week was their best game. And we talk about Braxton Jones and his ability to improve. I think last game was one of his better games I've seen. I thought even in that first game against Minnesota, I saw some things where he sat down on the bull. But when he has to go against an elite pass rusher, he definitely is going to be a trouble. And Crosby's going to be moving around all over the place.
Yeah.
He might stay away from Tooney, you know what I mean? But I could definitely see him lining up over Jonah Jackson. And who's our guy at right tackle?
Theo Benedict.
Benedict. I could see him lining over Benedict. He's going to be all over the place. What does Ben Johnson got to help his sleeve to take care of Max Crosby and make sure he's not a factor? It's going to be important in keeping a clean pocket for Caleb. Receivers get into their spots. making big catches. That's going to be the key component. And not, you know, I think obviously we know Caleb can create and get out the pocket. You want that stuff after you've gone through your reads. If there's nobody open and we went through your reads, get up out of there. You do your magic that makes you special. But when there's something there and you got to sit in there for a half a second longer, but you have identified and you can make those throws, I think those are the key components with Caleb that we want to see get better. And we saw the glimpses of it last week, but it was with a clean pocket.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Can they keep a clean pocket? And when it does break down, can Caleb stay in there and deliver the strikes, especially when somebody's wide open, and getting it to receivers and letting them do their thing. But Ben Johnson does a great job in getting people open and routing people open and scheming people open. So that's going to be something, how this thing progresses. I'm optimistic that we can get there, but it's going to be a concern on the O-line versus that Raiders. And there's only one guy that could be, and that's all you need, that can make the X factor that gets that group going. And we can neutralize Crosby somehow, identify where he's at, and take care of him, slide to him, send running backs that way. That can definitely be beneficial to keeping a clean pocket. And if Caleb can stay in there, I think he'll have success today.
I expect a lot of misdirection. I expect them to go. Yeah. I expect a lot of chipping on Crosby. Obviously,
Cole Kmet's going to be a big factor in this.
Both tight ends, running backs, everybody's got to be a factor in taking care of Max Crosby because, like Steve said, he will wreck the game.
Yeah,
he can wreck the game. Yeah. It all it takes is one dude. One assignment missed and he strip sack fumbled, and now all of a sudden you're in a bad position on your defense. It only takes one play. So I expect a lot of misdirection, keeping him off balance, keeping him guessing on what's going on, and I expect a lot of chipping on Max Crosby.
Absolutely. When I was just thinking about the game plan also. The beauty about Ben Johnson we saw last week was the ability to get those special plays in there. And I talk about it. I kind of try to use that in my youth football game yesterday. I have a load of special plays, and we're not having the greatest season. So I said, man, I'm unloading them. I try to take something out of Ben Johnson's book where I'm showing these things early. So it has you thinking. He had yet to really show any special plays until last week. And now he came out and did that. And these defenses have to be looking for that now. Yeah. I heard he has multitude of special plays, and he creates them. You can tell him he's just the guy who can sit there and create something, but he also has probably a Rolodex of special plays. And it was good to see those get called and get executed. But now that helps your defense, your offense, because that defense has to be like, hey, we got to have our eyes peeled. And then I think we will start seeing that genius of him this week also. I think let's look for the positives that we could see a progression of what he's starting to build with Caleb and in his game plan. But it always comes down to, can we protect and keep that pocket clean and establish some kind of run game? And I think that's what you need to look for today on the Bears offensive side of the ball.
There's a lot more trust, as you see, with the offense now that you're going into week 4. You're going to see a lot more trust. Like you say, he's going to open the playbook. We're going to try some different things, get the defense guessing. And by doing that, it's going to open every facet of the offense. Now, we had the Rome game last week. All right. Can we have the DJ game this week? We can't just focus on one part of our offense. We have to keep that defense guessing. Oh, they're using everybody on offense? Yeah. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I'd like to. I don't want them to become – I don't want Caleb to be – Rome focused.
Yes.
And I don't think he is necessarily, because I don't think Ben Johnson's offense allows him to be focused on one guy, because just the way, Steve was saying, he schemes up guys to be open. He schemes plays for certain situations. Like, there's a purpose to what he does, right? There's a method to the madness. So for me, I would just say continue to go through your reads, go through your progress, do the basics, do simple well. And then, like Steve said, when it's time to be Superman, when all else fails, do that. But do the things that you're supposed to do, the simple things that you're supposed to do as a quarterback, do those great, and everything else will come.
I think you also got to watch out for this. Another key component, was it Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus.
Like, are we going to start seeing him getting involved in the game plan? How does he get him? I think he's another key essential part that needs to get going in this. And when you talk about, hey, we saw DJ, and I want to see more DJ. He got that touchdown. Let's see more of him in the offense with Rome. Now that Rome, because Rome's going to start getting the attention.
Yes.
Like he's gone off the last, I mean, he's off to a great start. And now can that open up for DJ and Zacchaeus? Is he going to get going in this thing? And I think that's going to be very important. And when it comes to getting other people involved and opening up this thing,
he's been very reliable when it comes to like critical situation, third downs. When you need a guy open, it seems like he's available for Caleb. So like you said, I want to see it continue as long as Caleb doesn't get happy feet like we saw in week one.
Week one, that happy feet killed me, man.
He settles himself and he settles. I think everything will be fine.
Yeah. And like we go back to that weekend, you want him to stay in that pocket and just stay. I think the happy feet got going. When you think about happy feet, it's him not looking at that read. It's right there. Just throw it. I know they're coming. And it was a complete breakdown in the middle outside of Tooney. It was Jonah Jackson and Dahlman that was getting destroyed in the middle. But it's that split second, and you get the happy feet and you get the running, you're going to miss something when you need to stay in there that half second. So, but I think another key component to Caleb was him getting in and out of the huddle. All that pre-snap stuff is so important. No, I think people don't understand. Getting in the huddle, getting the play in, get into the line of scrimmage, and staying on schedule and not being behind. Like not getting up to the line of scrimmage, and it's at 3 seconds on the play clock. Right. My buddy, he was at the game. I think we talked about it on Monday, but he was like, I wasn't drunk. I was watching. He was like, for once, I wasn't drunk at the game, and he's like, I was watching how quick he was. Like I was timing it. He was getting out of there in 15 seconds, and that's amazing. And Ben Johnson actually talked about it later on that week, how he was getting in and out of huddle. So now, regardless of it being a 50-50 split with our fans or wherever it's going to be, it's not at home where it's controlled. They can pipe in noise. Yeah. Can he stay on schedule with getting those plays in and being dialed in? And when he's dialed in, I think his mind is processing. That means he's locked in. That's an important, like when you come in the huddle, you're like, that's not a good start to getting ready to play the game. And that could lead to happy feet. That can lead to, I see the first sign of any pressure, I'm jumping up out of there. I'm saying to play with confidence. I'm getting to the line of scrimmage. I'm in command. I'm looking at everything. So look for that too as another nuance of him being in control of this game and this offense operating, and him, Caleb, having some success today.
In your opinion, because you actually played the game, when Caleb's at the line of scrimmage and he's going through the verbiage, are you seeing him being able to call what the defense is doing, or is that more the offensive line to say, hey, this play's happening over here, this guy's stunting over here, or whatever?
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. It's supposed to be that relationship between your center and your quarterback, almost like a pitcher and catcher. Okay. Where you're dialed in and he has some level of control. Your center, when you're dealing with Olin, any quarterback will tell you it was the greatest thing because, Olin saw it all. He can look in the secondary and he can tell you what blitz is coming. Wow. You're telling the quarterback that. Now, you wish you had Olin paired up with Caleb right now in his career, because that would be, I don't know how Dahlman is. I think he, obviously he's a good player. I'm guessing he's a smart guy. I don't know if he's on the level of Olin Cruz with just seeing things and teach. And then Olin would have taught Caleb, like, hey, come here, let me teach you. That's the type of guy Olin was, and that's why I think he's a Hall of Famer at that position. But it's supposed to be that relationship. You hope he gets to that point. But until then, you might have your center be the guy who points that stuff out, recognizes that stuff, and helps him along.
With him being a veteran who's actually seen more snaps, he should be able to say, hey, Caleb, change the play or change, right, move to the right, move the play to the right or whatever. Again, this comes with experience. This comes through trust. You got a new center, you got a new coach, you got a new offense. It's a lot for Caleb to process, and the fact that he's speeding up his process in game 3 now to game 4, it's a lot of improvement. Yeah.
The corrections, like you said, we talked about week 1 with the feet, that got corrected in week 2.
Right away.
Week 3, he started, he started to hit his checkdowns a little bit more. He started being a little more comfortable in the pocket. He didn't just bail out of the pocket when pressure came. He stepped up, tried to, move back in, come back into the pocket and set himself up for a throw. So I think it's just we're going to see it week to week. We just need to be patient as a fan base. Like I said before, temper your expectations. Don't think that every week we're winning or losing the Super Bowl, because that's how I feel every single week.
Absolutely.
We're winning or losing the Super Bowl.
That's Chicago. That's Chicago fans, man. We're very dramatic.
That's the psychology. I've identified it. I talked about my Howard. He's exhibit number one for me when it comes to a Bears fan attitude. When I met my buddy several years ago, and I was like, this guy is off the chain. Where it's like, we win a couple games, we're going to the Super Bowl. A couple games, this dude's ready to just jump off the ledge. And I'm just like, this year, and I commend him, he's very level, but it's almost like, I don't care about anything type. I'm like, dude, you don't have to be that low. But that's how extreme he has to put himself in that level of depressed. I don't act like he doesn't care. But dude, you're going to be right back to your spot, though. If they win a few games, you're going to be right. And then so it's like you said, Bears fan, we're a little up and down. There's no in between. And when it comes to Caleb, and there's a lot of other things that go into Caleb and your like or dislike for him, and we don't got to get into that. But taper your expectations and to see the progression. Don't flog yourself from what you're seeing right now. It's him getting better each week and week to week and week. And it's going to take some time, because Ben Johnson's offense is not to be played with. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to digest that thing. When you talk about the O-line trying to understand what they're doing, and you saw those breakdowns in the Minnesota game. It just wasn't Caleb. There was breakdowns and not knowing. And when you don't know what you're doing, and and you had all that time in the offseason, but still, when the bullets are starting to be live and you're starting to see blitzes that you don't see, that they don't show in preseason, there could be those type of breakdowns. And you just have to get comfortable each week. And this week is obviously, I'm excited just to see that progression. Now, it will be a disappointment if we take a step back. Absolutely. But I'm encouraged because I trust Ben Johnson. I like the coach. He's proven. And for once, we got the coach that we needed to get. Mm-hmm. We just got to let him cook. And, everything that we didn't know about the guy, you're finding out, and you found out early. No, he's not just some nerd that can't lead people. Oh, he's a leader. He got those guys to respond. Now, here's the next test for him, Caleb, and this team. Can we go on the road? Can we rattle off two? Can we hit the expectation going into the bye week and start getting something going? Because you see the writing on the wall of what we can start creating some confidence. Even though this roster is not where we wanted to be, we can start reeling off some wins, because this game is all about a game of momentum and confidence. Right. And guys, you can do some things when you got guys believing and trusting, and guys start playing above their level of play, because they're, as a team, we're feeling good, we're confident. And so that's what this game to me is, going on the road with the injuries, finding a way to get the job done. And hey, it doesn't have to be close. That's how Frank Lenny, the legendary coach of Mark Carmel, used to tell us, it doesn't need to be close. Let's take care of business. Let's get it done. Go into the bye week and let's get somebody healthy. And then we'll start cooking with a little bit of fish grease,
whatever you want to call it.
But that we're hitting. It's all right here. I think we're hitting it all on the head where our expectations are for this team, and it's going to be an exciting game. It's not the most sexy game, the Raiders, and but it's an important game for the Bears and continuing to build success and confidence.
Good teams beat bad teams.
Yes.
And you have to go ahead and take care of business, like you said.
So, just like last week. And anybody wants to say, they're this, they're that. Yeah, that's fine. That may be. You still need to take care of business. We didn't take care of business last year on some of these teams that we should have. Yeah. Just like a Dallas. Just like today we should against a Las Vegas team that I believe we should handle. These are the things that good teams do. Yeah. So, the Bears, I don't believe, are a great team. I don't know where they're at right now. It's still up in the air for me. But you're on the right track if you handle business against the teams you're supposed to beat. And you just want to be on the right track.
Yeah, and you want to get on a roll, right? Like you were saying, if you take this game and you win this game going into the bye week, get everybody healthy. Now you got your revenge game against Washington, right?
Yep.
And everybody should be amped up on that team to play that team because they literally took the air out of the balloon last year and it just went downhill after that. That's the game that you win. And then you got what? You got the Bengals and the Ravens. Two teams that look beatable now.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, those are
We
L's.
also got New Orleans coming. I think New Orleans.
New Orleans before.
Yeah. But like this is when you got to build momentum because you are going to enter a tough part of the season, and you want to also stack wins, and that's what that Minnesota game was so disappointing because it was there.
Oh.
But like you got to look at that also. Was that a learning lesson? Can that be looked back at as like we learned something from that? Definitely. So when you look, you would rather have the W, but if it ends up being a learning lesson for us as we move along, we'll take that, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But let's stack this win. Let's get to 500. Then we got to start building something, and then we could see like you can magically see something. But the Bears always have a way of disappointing you when you see the path that can be taken. It was happening last year. We beat the Texans?
Yep.
Not the Texans.
No. We did.
It was where we go. We went overseas.
Jaguars.
And
In London.
And then that Washington game. But first things first is obviously this. But you start seeing the writing on the wall where this thing can go. But let's go take care of business. And I think you'll see this fan base get more and more excited as we move along.
Ivan, you want to take some comments up there from the boys and girls
actually,
on?
You probably are closer, so yeah, go ahead, Dan. Bring up some comments.
I can't read that far. That
I'm not the best man.
My vision ain't that great.
I'm supposed to have good vision. Actually, I went and got an exam. I'm questioning everything. Yeah, let's move that thing closer.
I'm the only one with glasses.
What's going on, guys?
That LASIK does wear off.
God dang, man. Yeah. My LASIK was in 2002, so I got something I need to go get my eyes checked out.
Yeah.
Said, all right, how about James Daniel? How bad is the GM if an undrafted right tackle starting over your second round pick?
Ooh.
We need to really think about that, right? Well, we saw that in training camp, right? That was already. It's not even. It doesn't really shock me because it happened in training camp, right? You had your pillow at left tackle during training camp. It didn't work out. They pop him back over there, and then I got to get his name down, man. Your boy from Canada. The American Theo Benedict. Let me get it down because I'm gonna be watching him today. Theo Benedict becomes a candidate at left tackle. So that was damning right there, like during training camp. So yeah, it doesn't shock me, but it's just telling you that there's other tackles right now, started at left tackle where we needed the tackle, starting in the league. And I'm looking at you had Simmons, you had all kinds of guys, but we're obviously looking at Ursery because that was the more legitimate one that was there in the second round. So yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Not to say that's the end of Trapillo, but it's not a good look that he's not starting. He hasn't been active, and the only reason he is active today is because Darnell Wright is down, and that's the only reason he's on the field. So forget about starting. He's just been inactive for the last week. So not a good look.
Not a good look. Yeah, we are Output Lounge on Grand and Wood. 1758 West Grand. Some of the guys are asking where we're at. Yep. As you can see, the old school sign from when they used to have the little club back here. It's still there, still hanging. It's probably the only
club. I can see it now. I can kind of see you got the bar over here.
This used to be a stage, right? There used to be a stage, and the DJ booth was back here. So,
okay.
Oh yeah. It used to be jumping back in the day.
Oh man,
there used to be windows.
Ain't no windows no more.
No more. Any other things we got up at? I don't know. I think
let me see. A couple more.
Yeah, hey man, pop up any questions. How about that? Anybody got anything? Throw them down as we are we getting close to action? What time?
Actually, we should go into the picks into our picks and predictions.
Picks and predictions.
Yeah.
I think now with these injuries, I'm still gonna pick a Bears victory. And I'm gonna go with 31-27 Bears. I think Caleb has to pull it out in the fourth quarter. But it'll be a Bears victory.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bears. how about I do this? I'm gonna go Bears 28.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Raiders 24.
Okay.
I'm hoping that it'll be. I wanted to go less for the Raiders, but like I said, then again, we are down some people on defense. We're on the road. They got some weapons with Brock Bowers. I think more weapons than I think obviously last week's game would have been a little bit different scoring wise if you had CD Lamb out there. I think this absolutely would be a different ball game as far as how many. I don't think it changes anything how many points we score, but I think it would have been a difference how many points they scored. So you got those weapons out there with just Brock Bowers, and you got a veteran quarterback. So I tend to want to say 17, but I'm gonna go 24. That's just going to be my safe, but I think the Bears are going to put up points. We just got to stop that man, Max Crosby, and you can't let one man destroy your offensive flow. And I don't feel like the Bears. I think they'll have some kind of answer for that some way.
Ivan,
I want to put them over 30, but I just feel like on the road, like Steve was mentioning, there's that home field advantage for the Raiders might take something out of the sails of the offense, maybe, but I would go with the Bears victory. I'm still going to go Bears 27, Raiders 19.
Oh, hold them under 21. Anytime the Bears hold their opponents under 21, they win. So last couple seasons. So I like it. How
about this? Who do you have going off today?
I hope it's. I love to see Rome go off again, but I want DJ to get going. I need DJ to be the superstar that we're paying him to be. I think with Rome getting the attention now because he had a good game last week, it'll open up more for DJ, and I hope he gets over 100 yards.
I can see offensively. Are we just going offense, or we're gonna go all down the line, offense, then defense? Let's go one of each, right?
All right, go ahead.
Let's do offense. I'm staying offense. I think Cole Kmet can get off. I'm really encouraged about Cole Kmet. Obviously, he's been challenged. He's been questioned in the whole offseason. I think he's responded this year. He's our tight end number 1, which wasn't supposed to be the case. It was supposed to be Loveland. He's taking command of being that number 1 spot. And I'm glad we didn't get rid of him. I'm glad he's here. He's stepping up to the plate. I think this is a game on the road that he can go off, get a couple touchdowns up the seam. And I think there's going to be more than one person that gets off in this offense. I think Rome's to get his. I think DJ could go off. The key is I think a lot of guys in the pass game, but I think in the red zone, we get down there, I think Cole Kmet's going to hit for a couple touchdowns. Maybe I need to play that.
Love that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go, and I know I'm going out on a limb, but I'm going to go
Luther
with
Burden.
guy.
Oh boy.
I'm going to go with
That's not a bad one. He's going to get some touches.
He's going to get If Swift is questionable or Swift is
hurt,
ailing,
yeah.
He's going to get some touches. So I'm going to go with guy. I think he has a good game. His first breakout game, if you want to call it that. I wouldn't put him like, I'm not going to say he's going to go over 100, you know what I'm saying? But he could be, if he's utilized correctly, he can be a factor in short third downs, goal line situations, late in the game if we have the lead, a hammer that's just constantly drilling into the, pounding in the middle of that defense. I want to go with Kyle Monning. It's Kyle Monning guy, right? Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
Our defense? What do you got?
Defense. You know what? I'm hoping for the whole core of the linebackers to step up because I don't see that pressure going in from the defensive line. I don't see them doing the pressure. So I'm hoping that the linebackers step up and are able to hang out with the tight ends getting distracted. Yeah, so I'm hoping the linebacker core can actually step up like they did last week. That's what I'm picking.
All right.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Trying to think about who's going to step up. Something tells me I want to go with Brisker, even though I know he's been a disappointment, but I'm not going to lean. He's my honorable mention. I think it's time for him. He's had a couple games. He's been a lot of his play hasn't been great. I want to see him get back to, obviously he plays aggressive, but maybe it took a little bit of time for him to figure out, you got to think about the guy missed a whole year because with a devastating concussion. He could have jeopardize his career, which is still a part of his game that, I mean, that could jeopardize his career. And so he's had to try to figure out how to be a player that doesn't use that physicality. So maybe him, but Dio, I want to see more out of Dio. Let's get going with Dio. But no, scratch that. I'm just naming everybody, right?
It's the whole defense.
Sweat. It's time for Sweat to get paid, man. I'm seeing his motor. As I just start talking about it, I'm starting like, okay, man, no, not Dio. I want to see him get going, but Sweat. I think Sweat is going to get going. It's time for him to get paid. $100 million man. Let's go. I see it last week. You see some flashes. It's time for you to get 2 to 3 sacks today. That can make a big difference.
I would love that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We need you.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
My guy again. I'm gonna go with Dexter. I'm gonna go with Javon Dexter.
Okay.
You got to be able to shut down this running game. And like I said, I said it for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna say it again. Stop Jeanty, stop the running game. You make them one-dimensional. You have a shot to win this football game with an ailing defense.
So we're gonna wrap it up, and
Sounds good.
so we're gonna buy Steve some wings, and we'll be back for
Some shots, some
some
wings.
shots. Yeah,
It's time.
this time.
Might be a different man when y'all see y'all next. Full and little tipsy.
Yeah, so we'll be back for the halftime show. So stay with us, TCSF and TTNL. So we'll be back.
Yeah. Make sure you guys check out on the Patreon side. Make sure you check out the halftime, and of course, after the game, BHL on TTNL.
All right. See you later.
Later.